Hello everybody and welcome. We are in the final stages of our Euro tour. So far we have been spending most of our time in Germany, and we have popped by the Nurburgring and this part of Germany, partly to take Fritz, our big black German saloon car, around the Nürburgring without exploding, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We're doing that a little bit later. But mostly so that we could drop in to our friend Pete here from Apex. Now, tell me what Apex do.
Apex does rental cars for the Nordschleife. They do taxi laps for the Nordschleife, and we also have 5 rooms of hotel.
And the cars that you've got are pretty sexy. I mean, we're here with James, and we more or less had to physically restrain him from some of the BMWs that we've got here. But if we start at the bottom, what BMWs do you have here?
So we start from basically a BMW 289 manual. Then we have a M2 for rental. We have a fully built, basically race-built M4 for rental as well. We have the F80 M3 taxi with full roll cage, 4 bucket seats that you can have a co-driver lap in it. You cannot drive it yourself. That's
something to have a look on YouTube. Literally 4 bucket seats where there would normally obviously be a rear bench. It's kind of cool. They're all carbon fibre seats by the looks of it. Everything's carbon in there.
Yep, pretty much.
And so that way you can get the crap scared out of you, but with 2 of your mates as well at the same time. So that works.
Yep.
And then so from the M4 up, sorry I interrupted.
Yeah, M4 is the biggest or the highest tier rental car that we have. But then, of course, our boss has a few of his personal cars also stored here most of the time. There's some McLarens hanging around, a E92.
Be specific about McLarens, people will care.
A 675 LT coupe with a roof scoop, a 675 LT Spider, 720S, 600 LT as a taxi at the moment. Things like that.
Yeah.
The usual.
The usual.
And
am I right in thinking there's a 488 Pista sort of message?
Yeah. Unless it's for sale or sold, but it depends on the week.
And this is a really exciting bit. What is your job here?
So I was hired as basically the detailer for Apex. So my purpose here during the high season especially is to make sure that cars are clean, because people are paying good money for the cars. They need to be nice, they need to be clean. And then during the season, of course, helping out with any kind of odd job. If the cars are already cleaned or I'm needed in somewhere else, then of course I'll help at the taxi office. I'll help in the office. Mm-hmm. I'll give people car keys. I'll check the cars when they come back. But during off season, hopefully every single one of these will get pretty much fully polished, coated, everything like that, like full works, inside, outside, underneath, up top, sideways, backways, any which way, just to help my job for the next season.
Well, what's really interesting is here, and I didn't know this, but I suppose if I thought through it I would have done, is that it's very seasonal, because in winter the place becomes more or less a ski resort by the sound of it. It's
and a ghost town.
Yes, and so
the population goes down by 90%.
And so during the summer, if you imagine when you're renting a car, that has to be cleaned each time. Maybe you rent it for a couple of days or a week or something. Well, here the guys are renting it for an hour.
Hour, 2 hours, something like that. Some people will have it for a full day.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time it's going to be, especially the lower tier cars, well, like the starting price tier cars, they're going to be out for 2 laps, maybe 4 laps maximum, and that's an hour or 2. Then it comes back. It gets a fuel, it gets some checking up that no one banged it or dinged it or anything like that, and then it goes immediately out again.
And what's cool is, as you can imagine, just as much as they're washing an awful lot and looking after these cars a lot, there's also a lot of consumables are used. So behind us there are just rows and rows of tyres, and many of these tyres are sort of semi-slick track tyres. They're pretty much things of beauty. Then you've got discs, pads, all sorts of things, sort of AP racing discs that the likes of you and me might save up for a year to put on our car. Here, there are just 24 of them hanging around,
You need to.
Yes, yeah, quite. So from your point of view as the detailer here, in terms of prepping the cars, you're looking really to put a lot of work in early on so that they're then easier to maintain.
Yeah, that is the plan, especially for this off-season, this winter. I want to prep all the cars as good as I can, coat every possible thing. I mean, you can think of on a normal road car how nice it is to clean brake calipers every time you wash the car. But I wash them preferably at least 2-3 times a week. The taxis get washed every day, every single time they go out. Before they are parked in here in the barn, they get washed. So on a normal road car, you might not coat your calipers, for example, or the inside of your wheels. Some people do, some people don't. You're going to be cleaning them anyway so often that they're going to be clean. But for me,
it makes sense.
It makes a difference.
It's an ultimate product test, really, because if you imagine in a road car, these race cars, they get up to much higher temperatures. And in terms of what you're cleaning off the cars, I'm guessing rubber is a big thing.
Rubber is the big thing. That is one of the big things that you don't see on a normal road car. You get the same usual stuff as asphalt. You get tar on the cars, everything like that. You get bird droppings, you get tree sap, everything like that. You get a lot of iron particles, brake dust, because these things are driven fast. And the same thing in the back. You get carbon deposits from the exhaust and whatnot. But everything is in a much higher scale in a lot shorter time span, if you will. So
it's a great, in fact, in terms of testing coatings and stuff like that,
it would be.
If anything, it's more accurate than some of the California sunshine machine where you're just exposing it to a bit of UV.
Yeah.
You expose it to the green hella.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hell of a test.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that you've known Dodo Juice for quite a while as a detailer.
The products I've known for probably about 8 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. Dodo Juice, personally, I met PJ the first time I went to Waxstock about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. PJ and Dom both.
Yeah, and built up that relationship, and that's the great thing about Waxstock. Actually, you really do. Those relationships. You might just meet somebody for 5 minutes at the dinner in the evening before or on the showground, and then it cycles forward and builds, and those links get sort of stronger, and then you end up. And now you're officially sponsored by Dodo Juice.
Yep.
So you get all of these lovely products. I imagine at a nice hefty discount.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And the nice thing is, of course, is that I use Dodo myself on my own personal cars quite often, and I certainly like the product line. We've lined some up here. Do you want to give us a run through of what we're looking at?
The usual stuff that I go through a lot. Pre-washes, of course, any kind of pre-wash, whether it's a snow foam or a TFR, anything like that. That's the most important stage. So we have the iPhone.
This smells gorgeous, by the way. Just a little aside. It's a very effective snow foam, but by God, it
does.
Good.
It does. And as soon as we got the iPhone, we got the proper foam lines, everything like that. Even the rest of our guys who are also washing cars whenever they need to, they were like, "Oh my God, I love this stuff." Then of course sometimes we use Crudzilla, especially for heavier soiled cars.
So Crudzilla's a TFR, traffic film remover. So it's more aggressive than say an APC, more aggressive than a snow foam.
Yeah.
And you've got to be careful on dilution rates when you're using
exactly.
it. But if you need to clean stuff off cars, that's an effective tool.
Yep, that it is. Door jams and everything like that. Total wipeout, APC, same thing. You can dilute it more, you can dilute it less. However you want to, you can play around with it. Works in the interior as well if you dilute it more enough.
It's a nice, safe product.
It is.
Heard whisperings of very strong versions so that you can dilute it even more. But even the kind of the
ready to use
is brilliant.
It is, and if you dilute it a little bit more, it's even more safer for interior, like plastics, everything like that. Wheels we use mostly either Total Wipeout APC or then Mellow Yellow if we really need the bite. And most of the time I dilute it 1-to-1.
And not to be confused with the fallout remover. This is a wheel cleaner.
Yep.
So the fallout remover is called Ferrous Jeweler.
Yep.
From memory. Do you use a lot of that?
No, not really. We don't really see that much of a need for it. Most of the time that is going to be enough. Then if it's not going to be enough, then I go for a heavier, not so diluted APC, whatnot. But I don't really use fallout removers, bleeding wheel cleaners. I don't really use them that much.
And what's nice to see, we've got childproof cap, and we've got all the correct CLP warnings on the back of them, which is not as common as you might imagine.
Yep.
So it's always good to see products and a nice, good, solid British producer. Been around since 2006, I think. So coming up 12, 13
Yeah.
I'm useless at maths, but yeah, old.
Less than 20 still for now. Yeah. But yeah, then Supernatural tar and glue remover, pretty much the go-to product for me for especially the rubber. So when you're driving fast, you get a lot of rubber deposits either from your car or the car in front of you, and they do leave marks. So Supernatural tar and glue, really lovely stuff for that.
And Supernatural it's a brand of Dodo juice, but it's like a separate group. It's almost like the DS of Citroen or the Vignale of Ford. It's the kind of same guys make
AMG
it.
of Mercedes,
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah. Super sporty. Good.
That too.
So we've got the tar and glue, and that's the leather cleaner. We're sticking on the outside for now.
Outside.
Should we talk about Future Armor?
Future Armor, really one of my go-to products at the moment. I use it mostly as a drying aid. I spray it straight on the drying towel, and just everything goes away, just like that. And the only thing is I don't use it on glass. It's not recommended for glass, so I don't use it for glass. Any kind of painted surface, just one spray on the drying towel, wipe the water off, and it does make a big difference.
And this is the point, it's a kind of essentially an LSP, isn't it? It's a spray sealant.
Spray sealant-ish, semi-coating, and a spray sealant, however you want to call it. But yeah, it does work as a drying aid as well, but you need to be really, really fast with it. Yes. And don't spray it straight on the panel. I always spray it on the microfiber and then wipe.
And it's value as well. I mean, these are big pots. Obviously, Dodo do primarily these sort of retail bottles, but these are the slightly bigger, sort of 4 or 5 litres.
Yeah, 17.5 ounce, 500 ml bottle. Retails for, I don't know, £15, something like that, probably, between 10 and £15. And one bottle, I can definitely say, in my use, when I use it like that, I can do probably 20-30 cars with one half-litre bottle.
And how long do you find until you start needing to top it up?
In our use, depends on the rental. Mostly on the rentals, they go out with different paces. So like the let's say like the beginning end of rentals, they go out more than the higher end cars, just because of the price difference. But on the rentals that go out pretty much every single day, I would say 3 weeks.
Which is 3 weeks of that sort of abuse.
In track use, basically. I mean, on the Nurburgring, you can say that 1 kilometer or 1 mile on the track is like 7 to 10 miles on the street.
Yeah.
So it's...
And of course, you're washing it more regularly as well than what a road car would have. So that works nicely.
That it is.
What shampoo do you use out of interest?
Sour Power.
Sour Power.
Definitely my go-to shampoo.
So Sour Power is a bit stronger than Born to be Mild, which is the pH neutral, but it's still fairly LSP safe. There's a fair bit of talk at the moment about how the focus on being pH neutral in terms of preserving the LSP, be that a wax or a coating or whatever, might be slightly spurious. And that actually just use a good quality product.
It is. It's for me. It's just the cleaning power and the slickness of the shampoo. Sour Power, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Then the leather cleaner, we've got the Supernatural leather cleaner there.
Supernatural leather cleaner, I mean, you can imagine most of our steering wheels, even on the rentals, are leather.
Yes.
And you can have anything from 2 to almost 10 guys per day holding the same steering wheel.
All be gripping hard, probably all
sweaty hands, really like all up in adrenaline driving the track. So yeah, we need a good leather cleaner. Supernatural leather cleaner, probably the best leather cleaner I've ever used.
Absolutely. And so what's your favourite Dodo? I don't even know if it's on this table, but what's your favourite Dodo product? I mean, we've got things like Clearly Menthol, that's very popular glass cleaner. Lime Prime is a nice, easy, home use sort of pre-wax cleanser.
Yep. And that does remove, even by hand, that does remove the stubborn rubber deposits that don't come up with a Supernatural tar and glue. Then the Lime Prime is the one that I go to, either by hand or by machine, depending on what panel it is. I would say for my favorite, it's either the iPhone or the Future Armor. Those would probably be my best products that I really love.
Yeah.
From what I've tried so far. I haven't tried every single product, but...
Well, I've seen you've got a massive stash of coating, so over the winter you'll be coating all these vehicles and stuff like that.
I've done a test set of wheels, but still not on a car, so we'll see how it lasts.
I believe that your orders this afternoon have been to get this nice red Porsche, what is it? It's
718 GTS came in.
So has that got a 6-cylinder or a 4-cylinder? About
6-cylinder. Oh. About what, 360 horsepower or something like that?
Pretty similar to basically Boris's Subaru, I'd say. Yeah. Anyhow, I believe your plan is to give that one a wash. Would it be alright if I sort of stand in corners with cameras and film what you're doing?
Not a problem. I'll show you how I usually do it. So we'll do wheels, pre-foam, shampoo, dry.
Brilliant.
That's it.
Been a pleasure. Thank you.
Been a pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers.